How you doing, everybody? First of all, thank you very much to MediaPost for having us here in this beautiful venue. Looking forward to getting a chance to walk around and explore and meet all you guys. Fortunately, I didn't have much of a chance to do that yet. I spent most of the day yesterday preparing myself to watch Game of Thrones last night. Hopefully you guys all did that a little bit too. You're going to be meeting with a lot of people today, and chances are you're going to run into some spoilers. So I highly recommend that you do that before the day progresses after we break. All right. Anyway, so yeah, like Steve said, he asked me to provide a quick preamble to the first panel of the summit, just kind of talking about some of the trends that we've been seeing at Avis Budget Group. So a little bit about me. I am the manager of digital acquisition at Avis Budget Group. I oversee paid search, performance social, and programmatic display. My main emphasis is on kind of driving, new users to come to the .coms for Avis Budget and Budget Truck to book direct on site, right? So, the main channel that we focus on for doing that in an efficient manner is paid search. So, my kind of journey in the industry, I've been in the industry for about 8 years. I started off pretty heavily on the publisher side, moving a little bit to the agency side before, this is my first foray into working on the brand side, and it's been, as you can imagine, a pretty big difference. I'm finally getting a chance to see what is actually important to the brands, and that is, as many of you already know, an emphasis on very efficient, very measurable ROI. So, it stands to reason that search would be our biggest channel because of that. So, we also at ABG, pride ourselves on having a test and learn culture. So, it's still very important for us to maintain and optimize in our other performance channels, and that has always been very important to us. So, am I doing this right? Oh, there we go. All right. So so especially now, it's been important to us because year over year, we decided to increase our performance social spend by about 100%. So income the social channels. So in doing this, we're seeing some really good results. From a conversion click standpoint, but another benefit that we're seeing so far is a distinctive impact to our primary channel, which is search. So a little bit about how we think of search. I'm sure it's much the same for most of you guys. Generic search is kind of our offensive tactic. We want to go out there and we want to get the very new to file, incremental kind of customers in the door. Branded search is more so focusing on our defense kind of strategy, but we also see it as a good way to harvest demand. And we feel that we create a lot of demand through our other various performance channels, and so in doing so, we need to be there in branded search to kind of scoop that up when it comes in. So. It stands to reason then that as we increase our efforts in performance social, there's going to be more demand for us to harvest. And so, that has really, in increasing our spend so much, has really shown up as a need for us to, increase our efforts there and be there to, pick up the demand that we're creating. And that's all right with us because, branded search, it's highly efficient, it's highly intended, and, so it kind of makes it so this social increase is really serving dual purpose for us. All right, so just to run you through a little bit of the impact that we've observed so far. So, looking at the kind of top conversion paths in GA, since we did this upscaling in spend this year, the number 2 conversion path has social as, this is for prospecting social to specify. It is a strong introducer. Then they'll get hit by a couple of display ads, eventually resolving in paid search. That being one of the top paths. Hey, we got to be there. We got to be there to scoop that up, or maybe somebody else will, right? So another trend that we've been seeing, looking at Google Trends in particular, we've seen a over the time period that we've increased our spend, we see an increase of roughly 10 index points across both Avis and Budget. So another key indicator that what we're seeing is in fact true. All right. So let's see. Another thing that brings to mind, I should mention, is as we look at this, it's very important for us to try and recognize that this is having an impact on our most prolific channel, and where else should we be looking? Are there other channels or tactics or areas where we need to spend up to create more of this interest so we can continue to chase this trend? All right, so another area of difference in 2019 so far is we've really kind of changed up our strategy when it comes to cross-channel messaging, and we think that's really helping us out. So, this came in the form of, in Q1, we had a spring sale for both Avis and Budget. So, typically, our offers will generally be the same across the board, depending a little bit by our different tactics, like we're able to have different discounts and things like that. But for the purposes of the spring sale, we made sure that all of our messaging, all of our aesthetics for our banners, our display assets were all very consistent across the board. And our hypothesis was kind of that the offer is not necessarily as important as the consistency in messaging. The offer that we put out there for the spring sale was not drastically different from our kind of business as usual offers that we put out there, and yet we saw a very nice performance boost for this time period. We feel that is due to the fact that we're reassuring the customer throughout their journey that this is the deal that they've been looking for. This is the deal that they were hit in social, they saw on display, they see it reiterated again in search, and they say, yeah, okay, I'm familiar with that, and that's the deal that I want to convert on. So some of the specific impact that we saw here, we saw a very nice rise in reservations, in conversion rate, and we saw a really nice drop. This is in overall in search. We saw a nice drop in our cost of reservation dollars, which is our primary metric that we optimize against. So, yeah, all really good stuff. And it's also worth note that at the same time, we decided to kind of take a closer look at our responsive search ads. Get some of those performance reports from Google to kind of really look closely at our top performing combinations and kind of apply those back in revising our display assets and our social assets to make sure that we're putting out there what resonates, because it is quite different between Avis and Budget. So we got some good learnings there as well. So yeah, anyway, I'm here for the panel as well. So I'm going to get out of here and hop on the panel with everybody. Thank you very much.
Mike, thank you.